It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business. Again, my name is Jamillah Lodge, so I'll be your host for today. And joining us is Giniko Butterfield, right?
Yes,
and you
correct.
go by Nico?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
all right, I'll call you Nico. So you're owner of Dizzy Dome Party Rentals.
Correct.
So before we get into it, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Giniko Butterfield. I am 33 years of age. I enjoy the party scene, so I'm very outgoing. I come from a Gombe background.
Okay.
So my mom makes Gombe costumes, my brother's involved. It's a family thing. So I am a very creative person. My mind just continuously keeps going, which is why I had created Dizzy Dome Party Rentals.
Okay. So you're 33. Did you ever work for someone else, or this is your first kind of primary main job owning your own business?
No, I actually went to school to become an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Really. I went to England in school. I went to Greenwich College. I graduated with my with electrical engineering and principles. I came back to Bermuda and I worked for Digicel. I started off as an apprentice, but I had found that my mind was just over what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I always felt the need that I wanted to do something else.
Right.
So that's pretty much where I started, and then did a lot of other businesses as well. I started off with what I had, G Communications, which is a communications company that does cabling. So I started off there first. That was my first branch for my main job.
Okay.
Because I always believed in multiple sources of income.
I'm not mad at it.
So that's where it all started.
Okay.
And then I went on to other things as well, and now I'm here with Dizzy Dome.
Okay, so Dizzy Dome is like the primary, this is what you're doing full time.
Yes, this is what I'm doing full time, but I'm not stopped yet either. So,
You still got other ideas.
I still got other ideas as well, yes.
So why party rentals? Like, why Dizzy Dome? What made you feel like there was a opportunity for you to build something in this industry?
In this industry, what happens, I have a sister by the name of Jasmine. She's 5 years younger than me. And she worked for a lady that she was actually their airbrush tattoo artist.
Okay.
And the lady gave up the business years ago. And it was funny because one day I was just talking with my sister about different things, and she says, Nico, why don't we, no one else really does airbrush tattoos, and I think I want to start it again. So I had that conversation with my sister, and I then invested in my sister, and that's how we started with just doing airbrush tattoos.
Okay.
And then now I have added other things to Dizzy Dome, which has made it a whole complete party rental business.
Okay. So the airbrush tattoos, you said, let's do this.
Yeah.
So what made you, what was the step between to get you to, I'm assuming you rent, the bouncy castle things and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, so basically, it started with the airbrush tattoos. That was the first thing. And then I had to make money for myself as well as my sister. So I was finding that it wasn't enough money being accumulated.
Okay.
So then this is why I sat down and I brainstormed other ideas. And because my mind takes me that far, I just thought that I will create different things involved to be under one umbrella.
Okay.
In regards to the party scene. So I went from doing airbrush tattoos, and then I did that for 1 year. After that, I then went on to bouncy castles.
Okay.
So I was just doing that for the time being. I spent all this money on bouncy castles to find out that I really wasn't getting any business like that.
Really?
Yes. So I invested my money. I took a loss, but nothing's really a loss if you're just trying out the market to see how things are.
Right.
But that is originally how it started for me to get from the airbrush tattoos onto the bouncy houses.
Okay.
Yes.
So now tell me about the rest of the things that you offer under the
then after I decided that the bouncy castles wasn't really getting a hit because it's a competitive market.
Yeah.
So then I thought to myself, okay, I would just cater to only toddlers. So then I went on to just have toddler castles. So instead of having all the big
The
ones
big
like
ones,
everyone
yeah.
else, and the little kids don't ever get to go on them
know,
because the
'cause
big
it's so
kids,
and
so
they're rough
and they're
and-
rough
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I said, well, let me just cater to the younger generation, which is why I bought Spider-Man, Princess. I started off with 5 fun castles, but character themed.
Right.
And then I said to myself, okay, I travel a lot. So one thing I have experience with traveling is that when you travel, you see other things. So I went to a trade show in England, and I had came across Gel Blaster. Gel Blaster is something that is almost like paintball, but it's not. So as I went to go play it when I was away, I couldn't stop. So then I was sitting there saying, okay, in Bermuda we're at a time where it's nothing for preteens to do
Right.
besides the normal thing that they're doing. So I figured that this would be very fun, that something that they can do, and it was a gap in the market because the competitor does laser,
Yes.
which is nice. Laser it don't hurt or anything like that. But we're in a generation where you wanna be actually involved. You wanna hear it, you wanna feel it, you wanna touch it. So then when I was playing it, when I was in England, I was like, wow, I think this is an amazing idea. And I went out there originally for bouncy castles.
Yeah.
But once I started playing Gel Blaster, it was like out of this world. So I came back to Bermuda. I then made an big investment in regards to funding for Gel Blast equipment, and it took me about 7 months
Okay.
to do. And it just started February, and when it started, it hasn't stopped since.
Really?
Yeah, it's been out of this world, to be honest. It caught me, which I had a feeling that it will kick off.
Yeah.
But I was like constantly busy every weekend with
Okay.
with this new Gel Blaster stuff. So that's pretty much where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So when parents are coming to a birthday party, no one likes to do things nowadays. No one likes to do that and
Yes,
other things.
you're absolutely
so
right.
I then combine everything that I do now into one. And it's crazy how it happened because then I have airbrush tattoos. I then also came up with the idea of having a game station table, which enables kids to play PlayStation outside of the home.
Right.
As well as a basketball dual hoop where it was one-on-one versus like interactive, more interactive things to do.
Right.
And so when parents are booking, they're like, oh, you do X, Y, and Z. It's a one-stop shop. So I try to create an environment where the parents could just sit back, come down, bring a lawn chair, relax, and I will control the whole party. And once the 2 hours is up, you could bring your cake, ice cream, whatever to the party, and it's done. No cleanup, no nothing. I pretty much take care of everything.
Nice.
So
So where does it take place? Are you mobile, or do you have an area where people come to take advantage of all of
it's
your
pretty
products?
much mobile.
Okay.
The Gel Blaster requires a big space. So what I do, I pretty much create the environment at the Arboretum.
Got
Because
you.
the Arboretum sets the environment where it's pretty much in the woods type of
Yeah, so
setup.
you can, like, yeah,
hide and
yeah.
So it requires a lot of work to operate Gel Blaster. The reason is because I have to blow up bunkers and it takes me 2 hours to set up. Then it's
Right.
a 2-hour party. Then it's a 2 hour to break down. So that's 6
Right.
hours in total. It's a lot of work. But because it's my business, I take pride and soul into what I do, and I'm a kids person. So I'm realized that a lot of people just do things that just say, okay, you're having a party, just drop the fun castle and leave. I like to get fully involved and make the kids feel like I'm hosting the party, while the parents are just relaxing. So I'm found out that's working. Really.
It would work, and as a parent, right, I can agree that if you can give me back some of my time or take some of that stress away from having to plan this thing, then I'm all for it. So in terms of, you've already talked a little bit about what I would consider to be your competitive advantage, right? Because like you said, it's other people out there with bouncy castles and things like that. So do you think that is your primary differentiator, that you kind of host the party? Is that not normal for this type of industry usually?
Yes, correct. That is the big difference. The big difference will be me being fully involved, making the kids feel interactive. Like it's a party the first party that I did that and had everything. I pretty much gave them everything for free because I wanted to see how this can work. To also give them an insight of what I do. And I also hired drone photographer to come and do it. So this person got the best party that they ever wanted without even, understanding that this is what I'm doing.
Right.
But so when I did that, I had this party had snowballs, they had cotton candy, they had airbrush tattoos, they had basketball, they had a gel blaster booth in which I use for Harbor Night, which is very popular. It's a booth that just stands up on its own,
I think
and it's
I've
got
seen
targets
it.
in the background.
Yeah.
And you have to shoot the different colors. It's like 15 different games, and it's connected to my phone. So when when they're coming down and they're understanding that, oh wow, like this is all that's being done, it went from word of mouth. So it was just busy constantly over and over again. And
so that was a good investment.
yes,
So
very good investment.
Yeah.
Comes to find out, that's why you gotta test different things, and then you never know what you're doing until at the end when you're like, wow, look how life goes. It just everything makes a complete circle.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful because I have a supportive family as well that help me and assist me for no money.
That's what I was gonna ask you, like how you setting up all this stuff and everything.
I like to control it myself, but I have my mother helps me a lot, and so does my sister and my family and friends as well. But they don't do it because they want to make profit. They do it because they see my vision.
Right.
And I think that's what they're more tapped into. And I'm a type of person, if I am creating an environment for my family to eat, to make money, I always make sure that my family is in place to receive money off of me. So every time I think about a business idea, I always think of my family behind. How can it benefit everyone?
So that's your kind of motivating factor that makes you keep doing this and keep it. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of your business model, right now it's you as the founder, CEO, and you also operate. But do you see or envision a time when you will have like a full suite of employees and you have multiple jail, what you call them? The jail blasters and things like that. Is that what you're aspiring to?
My main goal is to create an environment that has everything inside of it. Like I said, I travel a lot, and when I go away, I want people to experience something like Chuck E. Cheese's, but in Bermuda, where you come in and it's so much different things that you can do. So that is my ultimate goal. I know it's going to take long for me to get there, but I'm slowly using my own money, using my main job to finance my business ideas. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I'm not afraid to take risks at all. I think in business you have to take risks in order to accomplish your ultimate goal. And I think if you have one plan A, I think that you'll succeed. People think, okay, let me have a plan A and a plan B. But if your plan A don't work, then people go to plan B. I don't think you should do that. I think if it doesn't work, you still stick at your plan A, because who knows? It doesn't make sense you invest in time in your plan A, then that's wasted time to go to your plan B.
So let's unpack that a bit. So, because I'm always saying, like, what's your backup? What's your C, your D, and the E? So you're saying if you have a plan A, that's really what you want to do, but it doesn't work. You should still stick to plan A, but how do you navigate the fact that it didn't work? Are you saying just figure out why it didn't work and switch it up, or?
I am my own, like, I legit would sit down and talk to myself and find out different ways, because that's the way how my mind thinks.
Right.
It's like me when I first started digital, let's say, they can only cap me to a certain degree, like it gets boring for me.
Yeah.
So I created other avenues because
for that creative,
for my mind to keep going. So like I said, I started off with G Communications, and that's a cabling company. So I found out that that's seasonal. I'm like, I cannot make money continuously off of this. So now I'm getting to someone else. I bought in Strider bikes. So I then start selling Strider bikes to understand that, okay, well, I mean, it worked, but that didn't work also.
It wasn't,
But that pushed me into kids. So when I tapped into the kids market, I was like, okay, this plan A could still work.
Right.
So now that I'm at a point where I created plan A with parties, I'm just sticking to it and building everything around it to be under one umbrella.
Okay.
So that's why I say plan A, stick to plan A. Because if you're in your mind and you got plan B, you don't put your all in plan A.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
So you're like, focus all that effort and energy in making it work.
Yes.
But I see how you've kind of pivoted and made adjustments along the way. So what I would add, based off of what you said, is that your plan A is the thing that you really, really are passionate about. But sometimes when you're doing things, it may not be the right time. It may not be the right product.
Yep.
It may not be the right service. You just need to figure that part
Yes,
out.
correct.
Because you can still make that plan A work once you figure out what the right combination is.
Exactly,
All
because
right.
it took me a long time to get to this point, but I had to keep chopping and changing different things, and finally, with the Gel Blaster, it was something new. So now that's what attracted people to Gel Blaster. So now when they're attracted to Gel Blaster,
They can get all the
everything
other
else
stuff.
now comes into the play to be like, whoa, they do everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and the parents I have had such positive feedback because they have never had a party where the person that they paid for the party is still involved in the party.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Usually it's like
usually
drop off
and
come back.
go. Drop the
Right.
popcorn machine off, go. No, I hire my family to go and make the popcorn for them and go and make these snowballs for them to create that relax. I'm the host of the party. I got that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
all right.
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. You did in terms of like marketing and how you are getting out there. So the first party you did for free and they went out and told everybody.
Yeah.
So now how do you get your name and your brand out there? How do you let people know that this is available? What do you do in terms of marketing?
The first thing I did in terms of marketing was Instagram.
Okay.
I haven't did Facebook yet, but my mind is very creative, so I thought of the Instagram, did that, and then after that I was like, how do I brand myself? So because I come from a Gombe background, colors, that's what I like.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I gotta be bright. I gotta be different from everyone else. So this is why there's this colorful.
I was gonna say I love
way
your
it goes.
logo. Yeah.
So then it's funny because I had mentioned to Jamie Ramsey, who owns Brandon, and I was talking to him about how I want tend to be done and my flags and all this type of stuff to brand myself. And I told him I want black, and he says, black? Who wants? I don't need that skin look. I said I want black. The reason why is because if you put colors from my background, it's gonna pop.
Right.
So now when it was all said and done and it was completed, he was like, Nico, this is wicked. Like I'm enjoying this black because it's colorful. It looks nice. It's an eye catcher. So that was my thing. My thing was to be louder than everyone else, no matter what it is, which is why I sit there and I be involved in parties because it's something different. So that's the thing within business. You gotta find out the gap in the market and be strong onto that, and always make sure that you're giving the people what they want as well.
I love that. So how do you capture that? How do you, I'm sure you can tell on the kids' faces they're having a good time, but do you have like a formal, process for capturing feedback from your customers?
So what I do after every party, I always go to them after the party's done. Because Gel Blaster, sometimes it hurts. So you got kids that cry, you got kids that... So I always go to the parents that put on the party and ask them, did you enjoy it? What could I do better? Because I'm learning as I'm going as well, and I want them to be honest with me. So I always just ask them how is this, and they tell me. They say, Nico, you can do this a little better, you can do that a little better, but thankfully no one said anything bad at all. Everything has been a-okay. So I have to find out just what's new, pretty much, to make sure that the kids are staying engaged.
Right.
So I'm realized also when I'm doing my Gel Blaster parties, I break them up. Like I don't just leave them out there and just let them go. I break it up, a little fun. Go and go play hide and go seek, find this, shoot at that, do different things that make up the time where they don't even realize that they're out there even doing it.
Right.
And then at the end they're like, wow, already? Because you guys got to blind kids in a way.
Yeah.
Where they're having fun. They don't even realize that they're hot. They don't realize that it hurts. They don't realize any other thing that's going on, really.
Okay.
So that's how
I see you strategist over here.
Yeah.
So, your mom makes Gombe costumes. So she did that for a living, or that was just something she did on the side?
She does that on the side.
Okay.
So she has been making Gombe costumes. I've been a Gombe since 2 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm still a Gombe up to today. So she creates that from when I was a young age, and she says to me, like, she will come to me and ask, say, Nico, how this color should go, and this from a very young age, and that's when I knew that the way how my creative mind thinks, I just knew that I was different.
Right.
And I just know I'm at a time in my life where I'm just capitalizing on
That
my
difference.
strength.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
love
mean?
that.
Yes.
So the purpose of me asking that was just to see what type of back influence like did you have. Like, I know you are unique in yourself, and you have this kind of creative thing about you, but from the entrepreneurship perspective, like, did you grow up with influence of people owning and operating their own business, and that's why you knew you were going to be in the space, or it's just you felt like it was a calling for you?
I think, like, it's weird. Like, now that I'm at this age, I knew younger that I couldn't keep still. So when I was 16, my friends just tell me, "Yeah, cut your bike out. Why you gotta do 10 laps around town for?" I just knew I couldn't keep still. So when I'm understood me as a person in doing that, I
Yeah.
learned to now channel that into my mind.
Got
So
you.
now my mind, every day, it doesn't matter. I'm sleeping and I'm not sleeping. My mind is just constantly going.
Right.
So along with the colors and the gum bears and stuff like that, took that into this and that into that, and then it's all now coming together. So when people look at this them from a distance, they're like, "Whoa!" Like, we see, if anyone's been to Hibernate, you would see the difference in how I set up, and you would see that it's very organized and strategic and how I set it up, and I create an environment where it looks colorful. I just get colorful signs. You don't know that a colorful sign will make people come
Come
over
and
to
see.
your,
They want to see.
that they want to see,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
it's different persuasive techniques that you can use to lure people into your business and try to find out what's going on. Really,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But yeah, that's pretty much that.
So let me ask you about your what have you used to help you, right? Because being creative and, channeling that energy is one thing, but business, not everybody knows how to do it.
No.
Like, people say, "Oh, I'm going to start this business," but there's certain things that
Yes.
every entrepreneur, every business owner needs. Like, how do you do business planning? How do you do accounting? How do you manage that? So where did you get support on that side?
My family,
Okay.
to be honest, and genuine friends, they help me out a lot.
Okay.
And I find that it wouldn't rock with just you doing it by yourself. So we sit together as a group, and then my family and my closest friends. So we talk about it. We find out, what we can do. It's one person doing the books, one person doing the appointments, one person doing something else.
Okay.
So then, but I just control it all. And because of my passion, because it's my business, I'm always got to be, look, fix that. I'm very attention to detail. Like, it's like coming to this show. I said I need a pillow with my
Logo, that's right.
because that makes a total difference
It
than me
sure
coming in
does.
just a regular shirt.
It sure
Just
does.
small attention to detail things that you have to make sure that you got, because people they like what they see versus more than you talking about your business. So yeah, that's pretty much how I navigate in dealing with a business in total. That's just why I put my family involved in it, so that I'm with them every day. They
Right.
know what my challenges, what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad, and we come together and make it right.
Okay. So, in terms of mentors, how important are mentors, you think, into the development of you as a person, or in general from an entrepreneurship perspective?
Mentors are very important. I haven't had a mentor
Okay.
to operate the way that I'm operating, but I feel like I think this is my calling, to be honest, because I would enjoy giving back to show kids or be a mentor to put them in a program where they learn that business side of things with someone that is actually involved in business. But like I said, I never had that, and I wish I did, because I would have learned all these things prior.
Right.
But I'm glad that I went through that process, because I fully understand with my own wrongs to make it right.
Yeah.
Which is why I appreciate my business, and I'm so hard in it, because I worked hard for it myself without no help.
Right.
So yeah, I think mentor is very needed, is very important, so that the mistakes that the mentor made, hoping that the mentee doesn't make the same
Doesn't make the
mistakes.
same mistake. And I think it's important for people to see what they could be, and what
Yes,
they could
exactly.
aspire to.
Correct.
Especially young people and young black men specifically, because you want to give them a view or a vision of what the future could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give them something to aspire to.
Yes,
So
correct.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because we will be calling you.
That's not a problem to me at all.
I love it.
It's not a problem.
So we're nearing the end of our conversation, but I just want to hear from you your thoughts about entrepreneurship, and how would you inspire like the next generation of young men if they were considering entrepreneurship, or they're not even sure like what they want to do, because a lot of times they don't know, right?
Sure.
Especially around that teenager age, where you're getting to be a young man. It's like all this energy, but how do you focus it? So what would you say to people like that?
I would say to the young people today, because I face challenges going through this whole process as well, I say, first, you don't listen to anyone. Have your own idea. Work hard at your idea, and don't be afraid of failure either, because failure leads to success. And I find that the kids today, they don't travel enough, which is why they're so accustomed to this small island, which doesn't make their mind go. Every time I go and travel, I look at different things. It may be how someone presents the food to me. I learn from them certain different things. So I find that in Bermuda, kids need to, if you have intentions of being an entrepreneur, travel, find out how other people do things, create a professional environment for yourself when you get back home, so that when you come back home now, you're taking them same things what you learned abroad, and you're bringing it to Bermuda. And as well as like, just you have to travel. Honestly, that's the biggest thing to me, is traveling. You have to travel, because that's the only way that you learn. Because it's different from being in Bermuda, where everything's so small.
Yeah.
And Bermuda's the easiest market to break through. You just have to have an idea, something different than what everybody else has, and just push forward for your idea. So first thing is, don't be afraid to fail. Travel, and be in tune with your plan A.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Be in tune with the plan A. Don't worry about them plan Bs and Cs. Focus on the plan A.
Correct.
All right. Well, I think that is great advice. It's obviously worked for you. I appreciate you coming and sharing a little bit of your journey with me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just let people know how to find you. So if they're ready for the jail blasting experience.
So you can find us on Instagram, Dizzy Dan Party Rentals. On Instagram, or dizzydanpartyrentals@gmail.com.
Okay.
Where we can have email. Or we do have a website as well that's linked also to the website. So you can contact us at any time, and we will bring the party right to you. And you can relax on your chair with your family, and while I take over the party. So you can have a good time.
All right. Yes. I love it. All right. I love it. Okay. Thank you so much for minding your business with us. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
Exactly. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.